Hi everyone.
Hi, welcome to CraftyBeesFlorida Knitting Podcast. I'm Gayle.
I'm Christina.
It's episode 14.
December 23rd. Merry Christmas everybody.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Yes.
And welcome back to any of our returning viewers, and a big warm welcome to anybody who happened to find us new on YouTube.
Yes, welcome.
So this is a podcast where we talk about all things fiber, knitting, crocheting,
belting, all kinds of good
all
stuff.
Kinds of things. And also beekeeping.
Yep.
We've got some interesting stuff to share.
Yes, we do. We've got lots of good stuff with bees today.
Yeah. You posted some things on Instagram that
I did.
Some questions you had.
Well, we're going to be referencing, I got into two of my hives that were having some issues, and so I posted short little videos on Instagram, CraftyBeesFlorida on Instagram. So if you're new and you haven't seen that and we're talking about it and you want to see the videos, you can kind of go there and take a peek to see what we're going to be talking about this afternoon.
So, welcome to Anna Maria Island. Today we're podcasting from a different location. We're at my beach cottage on Anna Maria Island. So, after the podcast, I'll drive around a little bit and give you all a little view of what's going on Anna Maria Island, because it's quite a beautiful area of Florida on the west coast, just south of Tampa. And we love it out here.
I think it's some of the best beaches in Florida.
So too.
I mean,
and it's a very unspoiled island, so it's not like some of the other areas with lots of high rises. The local government has been very strict about making sure that it stays quaint and like a small town.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the residents kind of fight for that as well.
They do.
I mean, every time a big developer comes in and wants to build a big high rise, you guys are like, nope, this is pristine Florida, old Florida, and we want to keep it that way, at least as long as possible, right?
That's right.
And it is beautiful. If you're thinking of vacationing, check Anna Maria Island out. It is one of the best places here.
If you have any questions about it, send us an email or make a comment. Oh, yes.
On that email note. So apologies to everybody who's emailed us. I never even thought to check the email. I just have checked comments, and I noticed we got a couple of great emails, commenting on the bees and robbing and some of our fibers sweaters that we've been doing. And
I can't believe we missed those.
I know, so
we're
apologies.
So sorry, we'll do better. We're a little new at this.
Yes,
so
and I'm going to answer those emails because they were very interesting and lovely emails. So yeah, we're going to answer those, and forgive us for being tardy.
Okay, so
we're close to Christmas.
We are close to Christmas.
I know everybody's been busy.
I have been
You've
busy. Been knitting nonstop.
Yeah.
My goal was to knit a sweater for each of my kids. So I have two kids, a son and daughter, and my son just got married last month. So now I have a new daughter. So I've been busy with 3 sweaters.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got 2 of them finished. And
shall we see them?
Yes.
I think we should.
Okay. Well, I showed the other one on the last, I showed Olivia's on the last podcast.
So this is Megan's.
She could come driving up at any moment, so I'm not going to pull hers out again. But this is for Megan, my daughter-in-law. This is the Felix pullover by Amy Christophers.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And Malabriga Matcha.
Right.
Do you remember the name?
This is the Zelda colorway.
Zelda, and it's got some purples and tans and creams. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. And this is this pattern, I mean, you can make this sweater in 2 weeks. It's so fast, it's so easy, and it's really fun knitting, especially, because it uses a bulky yarn. It whips up in no time, and it just has this lovely little accent of in the raglans of the little eyelets.
So it goes for everybody. Somebody who's pretty fancy, somebody who likes plain. It kind of answers all of the requirements.
It does. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
And your cuffs, I'm going to comment on this. Look at those cuffs.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't woven in the ends yet.
Right.
I'm kind of waiting until they try them on to weave in the ends and block them just in case I need to make any adjustments.
I think that's good thinking. Yeah, so you did this on a US 10.
Yes, and the
then
cuffs were a US 8.
Okay, so you had to go down 2 needle sizes if you want a bit of a tighter cuff.
Right. Well, that's what the pattern calls for.
Oh, okay.
So I just did it exactly per pattern.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. Gosh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
She's going to be thrilled.
I hope she is, because I made it with love.
Well, you know what? That's most of what you need.
And I guess I might as well show you my sons while we're at it here.
Yeah.
So this is the pattern is called My Fall Sweater by Siv Kristen Olsen. And it's made with 7 different colors of drops snow held with 7 different colors of drops brushed alpaca silk.
Wow.
Yes, but it's super easy. Don't let that intimidate you. I'm going to try to pull it out here without undoing it. Oh, here we go. So I'm not quite, I'm not even halfway done with this, but Jason will understand. But I'm really happy with the way it's turned out.
That is beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
Look how squishy this is, you guys.
Very squishy.
Oh my gosh.
This yarn is non-superwash, so it is very sheepy. It smells lanolin-y. It moisturizes your hands while you're knitting with it.
Oh, I love it.
You know, this is knit on a size, a US 17, which is a 12 millimeter needle.
So is it going super fast?
It is
or
going
is
really
it
fast.
like you've got a few color changes? Seems like it slow you down a little bit, but not too much.
Not too much, no, because you know you can do a different color in you know, it seems like 15 or 20 minutes. I just haven't had that much time. You know, I wish I'd started on it a couple weeks earlier.
Yeah, you know, the closer Christmas gets, the more chaotic our lives get. You know, trying to get everything done and
you know,
you count presents and make sure everybody's even, and then I gotta go get. It's a pain in the tush.
I know, and I had to order this. I ordered this right from Siv Kristen Olsen's store
from
in
Norway.
Norway. Yeah, because I could not find this yarn in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that was exciting anyway, to get a package from Norway.
It was. I showed on the last episode
Yeah.
my big giant box of yarn.
Yeah, you got some good yarn though.
I did. I did. I'm really excited about it.
That's wonderful.
So what have you been working on?
Do you know what? I have not been working on much. I'm going to be honest. I got stuck. Oh, here. You guys are going to blow away.
Sorry.
I got stuck on that 2 of Wands.
Oh.
I also am making that with the Malabrigo Mecha. And so I've had trouble in the past where my sizing isn't right. So I started making that, and I decided to make it extra small because most of them are too big, and it fit, but it was negative-y.
Oh, form-fitting,
It was very form-fitting, which wasn't really what I was going for, and I don't think the designer had that in mind either. So I was like, that's not gonna work. And I thought it would be all right because I thought that I was on gauge. Let me just take this out and I'll show you guys. So this is, it's by the 2 of Wands, and it's called the Winter League Pullover. And I show a picture, it is just black and white. So it's kind of hard to see there, it's small. It's a free pattern on her blog, or you can pay for a nice PDF through Ravelry. And she did use, I think she partners with Lion Brand, because a lot of her sweaters are done with Lion Brand. And so she did the pattern off of Hue and Me Lion Brand, which is an extra bulky. I checked it against the Malabrigo Mecha, and they are for the same weight, same stitches per 4 inches, but hers is smaller. So I started doing math. You guys, I did math for like 3 hours trying to figure this out, because I measured a sweater. My perfect sweater would be 38 inches wide, and that's the circumference around here, 38 inches. And so what I did, I took out that extra small, because way too small, And I figured out if I'm knitting so many stitches per inch, I need this many stitches in order to equal the 38 inches. Simple. So I did it. I forgot to take into consideration, you're taking off about 1/3 of the stitches for the sleeves. So when I took off the sleeves, I was way smaller, and once again, I would have a form-fitting sweater. So I had to rip all of that out again and start a 3rd time. And so this is what I did. And we're gonna see if it's right. So far it's working out, but I haven't got that far yet. I took my stitches per inch. I made a huge swatch. I took my stitches per inch, however many I have, how many stitches I needed in the circumference, went to her pattern, and her pattern is lovely because it has all of her measurements here, and it goes up to a 4XL. So it goes from
that's nice, very size inclusive.
Yes, an extra small to a 4XL. So I figured out her stitches per inch and my stitches per inch, and then for her stitches per inch, what would equal a 38-inch sweater, and then picked that and then started doing the math to figure out which one of these sizes would match my gauge. Instead of making my gauge match her gauge, which I would have to go up to an 11. And I'm just going to show you guys what an 11, because I swatched my little tushy off. I think this is
that yarn.
this
so
is a
beautiful.
10 and a half. 10 and a half US 10 and a half needle. So that's kind of loosey-goosey.
Those swatches.
I told you.
So many swatches.
Oh, well, I'm totally lied. This is the US 10 and a half. Okay, this is the US 11. This got me gauge, but look at that fabric. You can see straight through it. So I don't want a sweater I can see through. The 10 and a half was better, but still see through. And so you knit yours on a 10
I did.
with the Malabriga Mecha, and that's what I've got
Yeah,
now. You can still
okay.
see through it a little bit because of the light behind it,
Yeah.
but you can't get your fingers through those stitches. I wanted a 10. So
Are
I
you
just
gonna have enough yarn to finish the sweater
I don't
now?
know. I normally would not do this many swatches, but I felt like, you know what, it's time to do
Yeah.
math and to figure out how to make the perfect sweater.
Yeah.
Now we're going to stay tuned and we'll show you if my math actually worked
Yeah.
out. My husband, I had him check my math. He's like
Oh my
doing
gosh.
sweater math for me. And I'm like, I don't know.
would love to ask my husband to do some sweater math. He'd just look at me like,
Really?
I've lost your mind.
Jason will sit down and do math all day long. He's a math
good
person.
husband.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not thinking that's going to work. And he's like, Christina, trust the math.
Trust
Math
me.
doesn't lie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm the kind of girl who's like, not today, math. I've got my own problems.
I know. See, and it's funny because both of us work in an industry in our
We're
real
math
jobs where,
intensive.
I'm a mortgage broker and you're a title agent.
Yep.
So we're both working with numbers all day
Yeah,
long.
and
But
if I'm-
this totally
Yeah. So
boggles my mind too.
I ended up figuring out that I could do an extra large in her pattern, and I will be within 1 stitch, 2 stitches. I'll be within 2.5 stitches. I went from 1 to 2.5 because I was thinking I was gonna say 1 stitch, but it ends up being 1 inch.
Oh.
2.5 inches or 2.5 stitches, which according to her gauge is 1 inch of my 38 inches. So I will end up making a 39-inch sweater, which is fine. 39
That's an
is
extra
fine.
large?
That's the extra large. And I couldn't figure out how my gauge ended up being so far off because my yarn matched the yarn that she was using exactly.
Right. Uh-oh.
And then,
I think you're here. I'll go get it.
Oh.
Keep talking.
okay. So then I ended up looking at her gauge. Her gauge is much tighter. The yarn gauge called for 4 stitches, I think. 4 stitches for 4 inches, and hers was 2.5 stitches. Well, 4 stitches per inch, and hers was 2.5 stitches per inch. So we'll see.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see. This is
Stay tuned.
I know. This is
Next-
how far I've gotten so far. It's not looking too shabby. I'm not upset with
no.
it. I'm not upset with it. So
That yarn is really
the
pretty.
yarn is really pretty. What's the name of it again? I know you know.
It's Arco Iris.
Arco Iris.
Which is, it's Malabrigo Mecha Arco
Malabrigo.
Iris, which is rainbow in Spanish.
That's right. That's right. That makes sense. Arco Iris. So we will see if my hours worth of math comes up to a perfect fitting sweater.
I hope so.
You know, it just got to the point I was determined.
I know.
And
You've been struggling with that for a while.
And you know, I think part of it as well was I watched a video, and choosing the right sweater for what you're looking for was part of it. I wanted to
Yeah.
do the color work so bad, but I'm gonna have to do a shorter color work because otherwise it comes down to here. And I'm not comfortable with a sweater like
Yeah.
that. That's not my favorite kind of sweater.
Right.
I mean, I did wear, it was cold the other day, and I wore that Easy V, even though it's a big blocky sweater. I wore it everywhere.
Yeah.
And got a lot of compliments on it. So it
I
looks
would imagine
nice.
so. It's beautiful.
It's a lovely sweater. It looks
Beautiful
nice.
sweater.
So you just have to make sure that you're knitting for you.
Right.
You know, we all have that
Yeah.
perfect sweater.
Yeah.
Not that we want to make the same thing all the time, but
No, but-
recognize what you're doing and knit for that, I
Right.
think.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to be you spend so much time working
Yes.
on a handmade garment.
Mhm.
You want it to fit the way you want it. So.
And I think that's why
And that's
I ended
possible.
up taking so much time
Yeah.
this time, was because it was worth it to just
Sure.
to
And
just
once you've
power
got
through.
it, you'll have it. You'll
Right.
always have that knowledge, and you'll always know how to make a sweater that you're actually going to wear.
Yes, and it was a lot of
that's the
thinking
goal,
and a
right?
lot of going back of a few YouTube videos on how to figure it out. And I think Coco Knits has a nice way to figure her sweaters out. She doesn't try and make it universal, but her sweaters. So I kind of went back to that and, you know, kind of hodgepodged it, and we're gonna see if it works.
Yeah. It looks, when you said extra large, I was thinking you were going to pull out your started object.
You were gonna be like, oh
and
no.
it's like, what?
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine, but sizing is different. So maybe her extra small is for a teenager or something.
Well, you
I
know
don't know.
what? I feel like if I would have gotten with a super bulky yarn, I could have gone and increased my yarn gauge, or
I
I
was
could
just
have
gonna-
gone the bigger needles, and I'd have
Yeah.
had the holier fabric. I would
Right.
have matched her gauge.
Right.
But I wanted to use
Yeah,
that
that
yarn
makes
with
sense.
my needles.
That makes
And
sense.
so, because she had the patterns, the very inclusive pattern sizes, I was able to figure, hopefully, you guys take all of this with a grain of salt. We could end up with something terrible by the next podcast.
Oh, I don't
Hopefully
think
not.
so.
Hopefully not. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because of her size inclusivity, I was able to choose a different size to match what I wanted to knit.
Good.
So
Good.
we're gonna see. Does
Yeah.
it work?
What else have you got over there?
Well, in the midst of my math, I got frustrated beyond belief. I put it down. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go to felting. And because
You
there's
are
no math
very
in felting.
creative.
This is
Wait till you see this, guys.
this is my fox that I felted.
Now that's wet felting.
This
right?
is wet felting.
I just can't
And
get over how. So did you just totally make that up, or was that
no,
like a
this is a
pattern?
kit.
Oh.
It's Serafina Fiber
Oh,
Arts,
it's
and she has a few
beautiful.
kits like this. So this is her wet felted kit, and so it comes with all this fiber, and I used maybe a quarter of the fiber.
And do you have to do this part too?
Yes, you do the
You
whole
do
thing.
the
You
whole thing.
It comes looking like this, just the plain mat. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
so
so-
you have a starting point. You're not making the mat too.
No. You come with it. It comes with this mat, and set aside hours, you
Wow.
guys, because it's this painting. Basically, you're doing the background, then you're doing the foreground, and then you're doing the fox, and then you're wet felting it, and then all of the details, the eyes, all of the highlights are
It's
added.
gorgeous. I love this
Afterwards.
3D part.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
that really
Yeah.
makes it just adding those little touches. Oh my
Mhm.
God, that is.
Yeah. It really
I have
turned
never
out nice.
tried that.
It turned out
It
beautiful.
turned out great.
Yeah, I'm really
in awe of that.
really pleased with it. Well, I'm not
Gosh.
particularly talented, meaning as a painter. I love to craft, and we can all, do fairly decent crafts. But she has tutorials, I mean, on her YouTube, how to do this step by step. She gives you a fox cutout, so it's not like I'm winging the fox shape. You have a cutout, you can
Oh.
place it on here,
Oh.
and then you kind of
Well, maybe I could
draw
even
with the
do it then.
fiber, the outline.
Wow.
Now, so
Gosh, I need to go on her
Yeah.
site because that is really stunning.
yeah, and this
That's
is
amazing.
one of many of her wet felting projects, and then of course she also has, the figures that you can make and stuff like that. So yeah, she's very talented. She is an artist, the lady
Oh,
who
is she?
sells this fiber. So yeah, so she breaks it down for us lay people very well. I think that turned out really well.
I
I'm
do
pleased
too.
with that.
Wow.
I usually have them up in my office, and it's always interesting because other fiber enthusiasts or crafters can be you can do any craft, but you have an appreciation for other people's
Yeah, for sure.
stuff. They'll come in, oh, is that handmade? And they're like, it's beautiful. And I'm like, oh, do you wet felt? No, but I have an appreciation, or yes,
Yeah.
but I haven't tried,
Gosh,
So,
beautiful.
yeah.
Beautifully done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What else do we have? That's
Well,
all I have fiber related. 'Cause
I have some things that have been hanging out in my craft room, and I thought I'm just going to show a couple things that are my goals for next year. I have
Love
so
it.
many goals because I have so much yarn at this point. But
my goal
remember-
is just to finish the stuff on my needles.
Yeah, well, that too, but that goes without
Right,
saying.
right.
So, all right, first I'll show
Oh
a
my
couple
God.
different, I
Those
know,
are so beautiful.
I know. My friend Leslie, on Instagram, let me start that on Instagram, I went to a girls' dinner last week we do an annual ornament exchange. And we
Oh.
were sitting outside and it was really chilly that evening. And a couple people, the only table we could get was outside, and a couple people said, what if it's too cold? And people were saying, oh, I think they have heaters, but I'm not sure.
Right.
So I thought, I'm always saying, why do I keep making so many shawls? I have so many shawls, and when do I ever wear a shawl? Well, this was a perfect time to wear a
Right.
shawl. And then I thought, why don't I bring a shawl for everyone?
Right.
Right?
That picture was so cute.
Yeah, so I put the picture on Instagram. Everybody wanted a shawl. Everybody wore a shawl. So we took a picture. And then my friend Leslie, the beautiful blonde that's in the back of that photo, she was like, I've never worn a shawl. And I have to tell you that it was the most comforting thing to wear. I was so sad when I had to take it off.
Oh.
Because it just felt so warm and cozy. So when I came home, I thought, I was seeing her for shopping and dinner a couple nights later, and I thought, I'm gonna give her a shawl.
Oh,
I have
that's
so many
sweet.
So you know what I gave her? I gave her my, what's that?
Nolani?
My Nolani.
Oh.
Yes, I gave her my Nolani because I was like, you know what? I went so crazy when we went up to Four Pearls.
Right.
The home of Emma's yarn. I bought all these kits that would make a Nolani. This is called Mo Slub. It's a skein of Slubby Slub and a skein of her
Marvelous
silk
mohair?
mohair.
Oh,
Yeah.
silk mohair.
Yeah, well, it's kid mohair and silk. Yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
calls it marvelous mohair. So so I have another kit. I was like, I'll just make myself another one.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Look at how beautiful that yarn is.
I know. It's got those purples and blues, and that's the bare necessities, right?
It is the bare necessities.
That is such a lovely, subtle color with just, you know, those little pops of color to give it some interest.
I know.
And that Nolani is a lovy pattern
It is a beautiful
to knit.
pattern. Yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes to that pattern. But yeah. So anyway, so yes, now I need to make myself another Nolani, which I'm happy to do.
It.
And I also have this is something from a year ago at Rhinebeck. This is that.
I know what that is. That's that signed
pooling.
pooling.
Yes, from Cozy Color Works. I must have 4 different skeins of assigned pooling yarn.
Nice.
So my goal, I am going to do some assigned pooling.
Wait, now didn't you have an assigned pooling that was a kit that you got from a chick that knits?
Yes,
Are you going to make that one?
I'm going to make that one too.
That one's on my list because I've got the lemon drop kit from
Yeah.
her, and
I have.
it's just beautiful.
It's something rose. It has pink roses and navy and cream. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. But I pulled this out and I thought, okay, this is older. I really need to give this some attention.
Give it some love.
Yeah. So, and the other thing I want to do this year is a brand new.
That's what you need is a new hobby.
A new hobby, yes. So when we went to Rhinebeck last year, there was this booth called Hooked on You. This woman who had rug hooking kits and supplies. And she had this kit up on the wall of these sheep with this, what do you call that tree? A weeping willow.
Right.
It's a real, to me it looks like a primitive.
It kind of does. It kind of
There's
does.
something
Yeah,
simple and primitive about it.
Yeah.
So I bought the kit, and it comes with everything. Comes with, and it's interesting. It's like strips of wool that you hook through. Here's the, look, it's not small.
Wow. Look how big that is.
I know.
Hold it up for
There.
everybody.
So,
Wow.
so I'm gonna do that this year because I think it's
I love
gorgeous.
it. Look how beautiful that is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And as soon as I get Christmas out of the way, I'm gonna start on this.
That's perfect.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold up one of these so people can see the like strips in there. And how are they really soft? Are they velvety? They look soft and kind of velvety.
Yeah, you know they are.
Are they short strips? Oh, that's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
I think you hook it in and out because it's not it's not long pieces that stick out of the rug.
But it's not one hook per strand.
No.
You keep going in
You
and
keep
out
going
until
in
you
and
run
out.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's
yeah.
exciting. Have you watched any videos on how to do that?
No. I have not.
So you don't have. It's
But I
going to
will.
be completely new hobby.
It's going to be a completely new hobby.
Nice.
It's still fiber
I like
related.
it. No, I love it.
You know.
You know, sometimes because with things like that, like when I was frustrated with that sweater,
Yeah, you pulled out.
you've
your
got to
fountain.
you've got to put it down. And I love knitting, but sometimes, I mean, why I have a math intensive hobby, I have no idea. You know?
Yeah.
But it's okay most of the time. But in this particular instance, I was being so
know.
fussy.
Yeah.
And so I just needed to set it aside and do something that was just fun.
Right.
And so that could be your just
Yeah,
fun.
you know, actually, I had a moment myself while I think right after I finished Megan's sweater, and I knew I had to start on Jason's, and I felt a little overwhelmed because, you know, Christmas is 3 days away.
Right.
And I said to Olivia, wow, yeah, I've lost my knitting mojo for the moment. She was like, oh no, do you hate knitting now? That's going to be a problem. Do you hate knitting?
Oh,
and I
gosh,
said,
that's
no,
funny.
no, I just need a little break from it maybe.
Right.
So yeah, I recognize that too, that yeah, sometimes you need to do a little something
yeah,
different.
yeah. So it's nice to have other projects
Yeah.
and hobbies to do. So perfect. Are we
Yeah.
ready to move on to beekeeping?
I think we might be.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell us what's been going on. I have not gotten into my bees, so mine are just kind of hanging out.
I think winter's kind of okay though. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate to be this way. I don't really like cracking mine open when I
No,
know
not
that
when
they're
it's
doing
cold.
good. It's
Right.
cold, and to me, if there's robbers, you know, why would you bust it open?
Right.
You know, to kind of give that smell out and
Yeah.
invite robbers.
Yeah,
Like,
just to tell everybody, at this time of the year when there is no nectar or pollen to be had anywhere, bees from neighboring hives, if they can smell that you have honey, you know, your bees have honey in their hive,
Yeah.
they will try to rob, you know, kill all your guard bees at the entrance and go into the hive because they're starving. So, you know, yeah, it happens. And so that's my philosophy too.
Right.
The less I can go in there at this time of the year, as long as I know they have resources. And when I did my last honey extraction, I left a lot of honey there
Right.
for them. So as long as I know that they've got some honey there, and I can see them coming and going. I do go and check every day. You know, as I'm driving by, I drive by.
Right, you
in my
can see if
driveway.
there's a
Yeah.
situation, if there's less bees or more
Right.
bees or something funky
Yeah,
happening.
but if
kind of.
everybody's coming and going
Right.
and it looks okay, I just leave them alone.
I don't blame you. That's what I would do. But I had 2 hives that were shaky, and that doesn't include the ball of bees that I captured. I just left that one alone. They're either going to be or they're gonna take off or they're not. I've been feeding them and they're still in there. So
Yeah, they're not going anywhere now. I mean, it's been a couple weeks, right?
yeah, it's been a few
so
weeks.
That's
So
their
they're
new home.
yeah, hopefully.
Their pheromones, the queen's pheromones are all over the place now. So they're
So
yours. I was hoping they'd be mine, but I'm kind of thinking after what's going on with you,
Well,
you need to keep them.
I'm undecided what I'm gonna do yet. So I was thinking, so I'll tell everybody what I found. I just got into the blue hive and the purple hive. The purple hive was the one that was getting robbed quite a bit. They had one queen. I didn't find her, and I saw some queen cells, so I thought maybe she didn't have a queen. They didn't have a queen. But then the next week when I went in there, the queen was there, and the queen cell had not been chewed open yet. So I was like, I don't know why they're making another queen. I just left them to do whatever it was they were gonna do. So I got in there this week. They do have a queen. I only saw one queen. I didn't see 2. The queen cell had been chewed open, but there was no second queen. So I don't know where she went. Or if, you know,
killed her
they
or
maybe they
something.
killed her or something. Because I did see the original queen. And
Oh, is she marked so you knew that was
No,
her?
no. I guess I'm assuming she's the original queen because she was the same color. She's kind of a brown color. And it's so interesting because the one that I captured, that queen is like a bright yellow. She's a beautiful
Really?
yellow color. Yes.
Wow.
And so this queen is kind of a brown color. And she's laying well. She's got a nice pattern where before it was quite spotty. She could have just been a new queen and just, you know, she's just learning the ropes. So they looked very good. I was pleased with them, closed them up. And then I looked at my poor blue hive, and they had 3 queen cells the last time and no queen. And I think we have a laying worker situation. Did you watch that short video that I put
did.
on Instagram?
Yes,
What
I
do you
did.
think?
I would agree with you. There is nothing but drone brood
Right.
there. All those puffy cells. You know, drones are larger than worker bees. So when they cap over the larva, it has to be bigger. So it sticks out from the, you know, it's not flush with the wax. So yeah, it's covered with drone brood. I would say you definitely have a laying worker. And I'll be honest, I mean, all that was on that was like a...
It was they had created that. It was a
Yeah, there
blank
was no
frame
foundation
and so,
on it.
No foundation.
I would just get rid of that because, you know, you're you're just setting yourself up for a situation where, varroa mites, which are one of the biggest pests that beekeepers deal with, they love drone brood. They will invade before the drone is capped, before the larva is capped. The varroa mites will go in there and latch on, and when that drone brood hatches, you could have a huge varroa mite situation.
So just let them, they didn't have the frame completely built out. They only have like a U in the frame.
Yeah.
So
you can see
it's
that
easy.
in the Instagram
Yeah, it would probably
so
be
you
easy just
scrape it off,
cut that out,
and get rid of it. Yeah.
and then put that blank frame back in. And they probably won't build it out until spring, but that's okay. That's okay. They've got plenty of other.
Because you don't like to treat anymore. I don't like to use chemicals, and I think that's actually a really good. A lot of beekeepers who do natural beekeeping will use drone brood as a varroa control measure, because if you can get the drone brood out before it hatches, then you get rid of a bunch of mites.
And you've kind of cut that cycle.
Correct.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'll do. And so then you had this problem, and
I did.
And so
I had a laying worker.
You went to people with more experience.
I did. I went to a professional beekeeper because I thought. So I guess we should explain what a laying worker is.
Oh, I guess so.
Sometimes when there's no queen in the hive, one of the worker bees will decide that she'd rather be a queen, and she'll start laying eggs in the cells. Now, she's not very good at it, and because the queen is the only one who gets inseminated, all of the eggs that a laying worker lays are drones, which is what hatches from an unfertilized egg.
And a drone is a male bee.
A drone is a male. And because she doesn't have the longer abdomen like a queen bee has, she'll lay 2 or 3 eggs in a single cell sometimes, and they'll be laid, they won't be laid right in the bottom. The queen can stick her little abdomen way down there and have a really nice pattern of laying. The laying worker will just shoot out 2 or 3 cells, and they'll be all over the cell. Yeah. So it's a real problem, and it's a difficult one to deal with. When I had this a few months ago, I thought, okay, I better call and get a new queen right away.
Right.
And so I called a commercial beekeeper in my area and said, I need to buy a new queen because unfortunately I have a laying worker. And he said, whoa, not too fast. If you already have a laying worker, if you put a new queen in there, they'll probably kill her because they think they have a queen. They won't accept her.
Right.
Because, So the best thing to do is what they call a newspaper split, where you combine the laying worker hive on top of an existing strong hive, and you put a piece of newspaper between the boxes, so that the laying worker hive and the other hive have to, they have to chew through the newspaper to get to one another. So it takes them a week or so to totally combine.
How
and by
many
that,
sheets of newspaper?
Just one.
Just
one
sheet.
sheet of newspaper between the hives, and then they can gradually get that queen's pheromones, and yeah.
So I was thinking, tell me your thoughts, because I've got the nuke, and that has a queen and a small hive. I could combine them with the blue hive, but I would have to put them on top or do a bunch of work to get them at the bottom. I'm not sure how important it is who's on top and who's on bottom. In most cases, what Gail's talking about is you have a hive that's already established in the bottom box.
Right.
You put the new the laying worker situation on the top, and they have to go down.
Right.
So is it the pheromones that matter, or whether they go down or up? Now eventually the queen would go down. So if I put that little nuke on top, that queen would be on top, and she'd have to go down into the already established box that has a laying worker. Or I've got the purple hive that has the new queen. Maybe I could take the worker bee, the worker layer situation, and put that on top of the purple hive and just leave that nuke alone.
Yeah, I would do either that, or I would move that nuke.
Oh, that's way too much trouble on that. Moving the nuke into another box, put another one on top. You know how I'm a lazy beekeeper, you guys. I'm like, girls, you all got to get it together because I'm not helping.
Okay, then yeah, I would put it on top of the blue hive then.
Yeah, that's what I was
already
kind
got
of
an existing queen.
Yeah, I mean, they're not a super strong hive. They're little, so why not just put the blue on top of that purple, and the queen's already at the bottom. Now my only problem with that is I only want 3 hives, and that purple hive is not in an ideal space. I want to move it where the blue hive is. So then once I get everybody in the purple hive, how do I move them to where the blue hive is and they can find it? Do I just move them at night?
I think they say you're supposed to move it like a foot a day until, I know. Oh,
there I'm lazy
not
again.
Good for a lazy beekeeper.
A foot a day. Girls, you're going to find the new hive or be lost. No, I would not do that to them. I'll figure that one out. But I mean, commercial beekeepers move their bees all the time.
Do they?
Of course they do.
Well, yeah,
Mine
they
come
move
up.
their location. That's true.
People come to Terra Ceia and have
That's
them on
true.
Terra Ceia. I see
Yeah.
50 hives there, and then
That's
in
true, and
2
then
months,
they're
once,
gone.
which irritates me because all their bees are eating my bees' resources. I'm like, turkeys, get out of here, commercial beekeepers. I shouldn't be that way. Everybody needs honey. More bees.
Well, give it a try. Just move it and see what happens.
Well,
move it at night when they're all in there. Maybe close the entrance for a day or something, you know, once they're all in there. And
well,
if it has a screen bottom board.
it does.
Yeah, so as long as they have ventilation, keep it closed up for a day, and then
Yeah, well, we'll see. I have to get everybody integrated first.
yeah.
Let's get everybody
you go.
integrated together. I think that's what I'll do, is move them to the purple hive.
Yeah,
We'll just go from there.
yeah.
Leave it.
Interesting. It's
It'll-
always something new and interesting.
I have experiments going on all
know.
over, don't I?
Listen, I do too. You know, my experiments though are more with products because, you know, I've
That's
started.
right. Did you bring
good
a
friend-
sample of your label?
I
Oh,
didn't. Maybe I'll put a sample. I can insert that.
there you go. Yeah.
I'm really happy with the way my logo turned out. It's really pretty.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
something different. And my business is called Good Friend Honey Co.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah, so I've got somebody working on my website right now, and soon I'll have a Facebook page. I had started a Facebook page, but I haven't really, populated it yet. So I have lots of work to do after the new year, but I'm very excited.
That's so much fun because
It's
honey
fun.
and honey products and honeybees are so Instagram happy.
They
You know,
are.
I mean,
Everybody loves
mortgages, you can't put that on Instagram. Everybody's like, whatever, why is that even in my
Yeah,
feed? But
it's
bees,
not
I will
fun.
stop and look
I
at.
know.
So I'm a little jealous of your
Well,
great
you can do it
stuff
too.
that you've got happening on there, and you've made great progress. I mean, you're just doing wonderful things.
Just doing a little bit at a time, but I've got some different bottles, got some solid lotion bars, which I've talked about before. I want to start.
But you did alter that recipe a little bit, you said, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you change?
I just added more mango butter.
Mango butter.
Because it was a little too waxy.
Right.
And that's all I needed to do to make it perfect.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
It's much better now.
Excellent.
And now I want to make beard balm. So many guys have beards now.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
You know, I need to use up all this beeswax. So beard balm is my next thing.
Are you using your sun wax melter yet?
I haven't used it. Yeah, you know what? It's been cool and shade. This is the first really sunny day we've had in a few days.
And it has been a little overcast.
Yeah, but I just bought a new solar wax melter, so I have pounds and pounds of wax that I need to melt. So maybe next week that'll be a fun.
Oh, that'll be fun.
That'll be a fun experiment
Yeah.
to see how that works.
Yeah,
So,
perfect.
Yeah, so it's exciting. The new year is going to be very exciting.
It is. It is. I always love a new year and
Me too.
making so. I don't want to call them resolutions because
Yeah,
that's not really right.
goals.
Goals or ideas,
Yeah.
things that you want to pursue, and it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be business. It doesn't have to be weight loss. It can be, you know,
Right.
oh, I want to try a new hobby, or
Exactly.
you know, whatever.
It's just exciting. It's exciting to have the renewal of a new year, to like a fresh start. It just feels like a fresh start.
I love it, and I
love
think,
it too.
I don't know about you, but I think 2023 was a hard year for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think it was really a struggle, and I don't know why. I've talked to so many people that struggled with relationships in 2023.
Oh.
It really was. You know, I've listened to people and talked to people, and I'm like, wow, I don't know if the moon was in weird places.
I
So
wonder.
I'm looking forward to 2024 and just, you know, running at it
Me too.
full speed.
Me too.
Let's do great things.
Yeah. So.
So you guys, Merry Christmas, Happy
Yeah,
Hanukkah, you know, whatever you
whatever
celebrate.
You celebrate. Happy, happy.
Yep, happy holidays, and I don't think we're gonna podcast again before the new year.
Right.
So have
we'll
a happy
see you
new
next year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
Be
right,
safe,
well-
enjoy.
Yes. Be happy and healthy. And if you liked what you saw here, please like and subscribe.
I'm
to
so
our
glad you
podcast.
remember that. I never remember that. I'm
know.
like, you guys.
All right. So we will see you next year.
Next year. Happy holidays, everybody. Have fun. Stay safe.
Right. Happy knitting and
Happy beekeeping.